evening and welcome to this Friday evening's primetime news. I'm Shalva Wells. Leading the bulletin, President Dr. Hage Geingob said the people of Tanzania and Africa as a whole have lost a distinguished statesman in Tanzania, President John Magufuli, a visionary who during his life exemplified ethos of discipline and hard work. Magufuli, aged 61, died due to heart disease, Tanzania's Vice President Samia Hassan Suluhu announced on Wednesday. It is with utter shock and an immense sense of grief that I have learned about the passing of our dear brother, His Excellency Dr. John Magufuli, President of the United Republic of Tanzania. I wish to convey our profound sympathies and condolences to Her Excellency Vice President Samia Hassan Suluhu of the United Republic of Tanzania, the government, the fraternal people of the United Republic of Tanzania, and the family of our dear departed son of Africa, Geingob said in a media statement issued late on Thursday. Government will avail $400 million for the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2's economic recovery efforts. This is according to the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2 report launched by President Hage Geingob on Thursday. The report said government will support the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2 efforts to unlock projects with commercial value of over $27.7 billion, which have the potential of creating over 42,000 jobs. The Windhoek Technical High School on Thursday received 13 vehicles to be used for practical teaching and assessment of motor mechanics and technical subjects. Of the 13 vehicles received, 5 were donated by the Ministry of Works and Transport in 2020, while 8 were recently donated by the Ministry of Mines and Energy. The Windhoek Technical High School is one of the selected schools in the country to offer pre-vocational or vocational subjects and to start with the implementation of the Basic Education's reformed curriculum, which includes changes to the basic education structure and the introduction of technical subjects and pre-vocational skills courses.
Speaking during the handover ceremony, Coma's Acting Director of Education, Arts and Culture, Paul Lewin, said it remains a priority of the Coma's Directorate of Education to introduce the technical curriculum at more schools in the future to allow more learners to benefit by acquiring practical skills. Furthermore, Lewin appealed to Namibians to support the implementation of the revised curriculum irrespective of the current challenges, stating that it is necessary for learners to obtain knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes they need in real life to further their studies and live a meaningful life in a democratic society.
So it should be noted that the review underpins the aspirations of Vision 2030 to realize Namibia's goals to move towards a knowledge-based society. A society where knowledge is constantly being acquired and renewed and used for innovation to improve the quality of life.
On his part, Director of Centralized Support Services at Ministry of Works and Transport, Sam Kadhikwa, said the ministry is delighted to be associated with Windhoek Technical High School in transferring the 5 vehicles to be used by the school for practical teaching and assessment in motor mechanics.
As you are all aware that education is the greatest equalizer and practice make it more perfect. So we are certain that we are on the right path in achieving or educating the child, the Namibian child. Ladies and gentlemen, the vehicles transferred here today show a commitment from the Ministry of Works and Transport to produce for Windhoek High Technical School to produce well-trained motor mechanics ready for the Namibian markets.
He added that the donations show commitment by the ministry in ensuring that the school produces well-trained and competent motor mechanics ready for the Namibian market. Kadhikwa also appealed to the school's management to safeguard the vehicles as they are state assets.
6 schools in the Kavango East region which have been struggling with access to water each received a 2,500-litre water tank from Chinese businesswoman Charlene Shen at Vundu on Thursday. The schools include Vungu Vungu, Muhopi, Sholastika, Mbava primary schools as well as Shiguruguru, Wazanga and Shipanda junior primary schools. Handing over the water tanks, Shen said water is a basic need every human being should have access to. Handing over the water tank, Shen said water is a basic need every human being should have access to. She told the gathering she is not a politician and is not giving the donation in exchange for land or anything else, but the donation comes purely from the goodness of her heart. We will be back shortly after the news roundup. President Dr. Hage Geingob said he is yet to be convinced why government should implement a universal basic income grant, as the rationale around it makes no sense to him. Geingob was responding to questions during a briefing here on Thursday regarding the government's stance on calls to introduce a universal basic income grant for all Namibians. There has been calls, especially by the Basic Income Grant Coalition, asking for the grant to be implemented, which would be a government social protection scheme through which all Namibians aged 19 to 59 years would receive a cash payment of $500 Namibian per person per month as a long-term effort to tackle extreme poverty that continues to plague Namibians and improve the people's standard of living. Geingob said, as someone who champions the eradication of poverty and hunger in the country, he is yet to be convinced why government should pay every citizen an equal basic grant irrespective of financial status. You must convince me why a person who is employed or even rich must get the same amount as someone unemployed and suffering there in Katutura. What kind of sense is that? He questioned, adding that his stance and that of government is that basic income grant must be based on needs. The Korigas Town Council will suspend the water of its defaulting clients on 12 April 2021, the council's chief executive officer Andreas Kovosep said. Kovosep, in an interview with Nampa on Thursday, said residents failed to honor outstanding water debts on a monthly basis since the outbreak of COVID-19 reported in March 2020. Due to non-payments, the council's daily operations are severely affected. Outstanding water debts from our clients have increased drastically. The council's NAM water debt has been increasing because of not receiving payment for water and municipal services, he said. We will return shortly after the economics roundup. In sports news, Opuo in the Kunene region as well as Eitkoms in the Odo-Donjupa region will hold two separate independence football tournaments at the weekend. Organizer and chairperson of the Opuo Independence Tournament, Naftali Nangula, told Nampa on Thursday the tournament will feature two categories of 23 young and 14 legend teams who will compete at the Newman Katutu and Omaheke stadiums in Opuo. The first edition of the Omitara Independence Mini Tournament will take place at the Omitara Sports Fields this weekend. Speaking to Nampa in an interview on Wednesday, tournament organizer Gabriel Aikovap of main sponsor Konjak's Finest Lounge stated that Omitara and the surrounding areas possess some of the greatest football stars, but due to limited opportunities and the financial constraints, they are not exposed to the outside world. He said the initial purpose of holding this tournament is to not just celebrate 31 years of Namibia's independence, but also market the raw products of Omitara and surrounding villages to those in the national football setup. We will be back shortly after the sports roundup. That's all the news we had for you this evening. Many thanks to you for tuning in. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe, like, share and click on the notifications bell to stay up to date with the latest happenings locally and globally. From myself, Shalva Wells and the entire Nampa crew, happy Independence Day, Namibia.